Well, welcome to this particular lesson, and the content and reading portion of this lesson is going to focus primarily on the ribbon. And the ribbon it's like all the instruments in the cockpit of an airplane. It shows you all the features that are available to you in order to guide your document to successful completion in terms of formatting and in terms of content. I'd like to take a little diversion right here, and this is going to be a short video, but I want to give you 7 tips because I think this will help you a lot, particularly for those of you who are extremely busy and you're thinking to yourself, my kids can't type, I have no time to introduce technology instruction into my classroom. And Donnie, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but I'm not getting paid extra to introduce technology, even though the Common Core standards say things like by 4th grade, a student should be able in one sitting to type out a full page. That's in the Common Core standards. And so, some of us teachers are looking at ourselves and looking at each other and say, how in the world are we going to add yet another standard of typing? So these tips will be helpful for you as you consider introducing technologies into your classroom in light of the Common Core standards, or just in light of living in the 21st century where technology skills are increasingly needed. Point number 1. Prioritize helping a student think critically over merely helping them use tools. You know this, I know this, but tools are going to be changing all the time. We're using Microsoft Word, but who knows? Microsoft may come out with an entire new word processing editing paradigm that basically allows you to type on your arm what you want to be printed out and then print it out to inbuilt computers in homes that will be built in 2017. We don't know. So why do I say that? I say that because although we need to give our students how-to lessons, you should give them at least 2 or 3 very basic lessons on just how to use Microsoft Word. Where are the buttons? What are the 7 sections, etc. But keep them focused on thinking critically. And so what does that mean? That means when you introduce Microsoft Word, don't introduce it just as a tool. Introduce it as a vehicle that will help them express ideas, consolidate research, communicate important thoughts for the benefit of society, and creating resumes, college applications, etc. Give them an overriding vision of why this is important. 2, find creative ways to help students get past writer's block. A really quick example is, there was a teacher, she was sitting down with a student, and the student just did not know where to start in typing an essay. And so eventually she said, you know what, Bobby, you told me about your vacation 3 weeks ago over the summer, and the words were just flowing. So what she did is she pulled out a recorder, and she said, go ahead and tell me about your vacation again. And he just talked it all out effortlessly. And she recorded it. And then what she did is she handed him the recorder and said, replay this in phases and go ahead and just type out what you said. So I say that because some of your students are not going to be that comfortable with writing, but they're comfortable with talking. And so one way to get past that hurdle is help them talk first and then just type what they talked about. Point 3, point students to websites that help them type without looking at letters. All you have to do is go to Google and click on typing tutorial. And there's one particular website, maybe I can just show it to you really quick. And what we'll do is we'll just type in learn how to type or typing tutorial. And there's one website here, it's called typingweb.com. You can just click on Start Typing. You don't have to register, so when you see the register button, just tell your students, click on the X to ignore that. Then you can go ahead and click on the first beginner course, home row. And the first thing that happens after the page takes a little time to load is it opens up a nice picture of a keyboard and helps your students place their fingers in the right place. Now, I'm not going to go through the rest of this, but you can then click Begin Lesson, and it will help your students very simply how to touch type without having to look at the keyboard. Now, it's okay if they start out hunting and pecking and looking for letters. That's fine. Encourage them, just do whatever you can to get a word onto the piece of paper. But at a certain point, guide them to go home and practice. So then the fourth point is point students to resources that help them get up to speed quickly. They themselves can take their iPhone, go to Safari browser, and just type in tutorial for Microsoft Word, and they can learn themselves. And of course, maybe some of the videos aren't as methodical, and maybe there's not as much structure, but that's okay. Help them to find resources on their own. That way, when Microsoft Word 2013 gets upgraded to Microsoft Word 2015, you don't have to say, oh, I need to teach you the new features of 2015. You just say, just go online, search, and you'll find a tutorial. Incorporate technology learning into your current lesson plans. This is a very helpful point for those of you who are quite busy. So if you're teaching a topic on, let's say, climate change in America, well, go ahead and keep teaching that, and then at the end of the lesson, just say, I would like for you to write a summary of what you learned today, come back with a printed piece of paper, and I want to see what you did. And you'll be surprised, there'll be some students who actually come back without you having even taught Microsoft Word, but they'll actually bring it in Microsoft Word. If they're kindergarten, they'll ask their parents to type it for them. That's totally fine. If they're seniors, they can learn on their own. 6, give your students opportunity to teach new technologies to the class. If you find that there's one student who is really good at Microsoft Word, give them an opportunity to talk to the person next to them of how to use Microsoft Word. And if they're not shy, encourage them to come up in front of the class and teach it. And then the last point is take advantage of the templates listed online. I won't talk too much about this, but there are just some great templates online. Like for instance, here's a template on essay writing. And where did I get this? I just went to Google, click here, and I just typed templates for essays. That then brought me to a variety of options, and I'll just click on student templates. I clicked here, then there's another link called organizing essay ideas. I clicked here. It downloads a Word document for me. I click on that, and it brings up, lo and behold, this particular page. Of course, in order to see the formatting, I need to click this button up here called Enable Editing, and then it brings me to this. And then I can just modify this to my heart's content to make it look like what's here. And so use templates as you're teaching your students maybe how to do college application essays, or how to write a resume, or how to just do low stakes writing. Feel free to pull from the templates on the web. So that's a little tutorial of 7 key tips for introducing technologies into your classroom. Now I'd like to ask that you go on to the reading portion on how to use the ribbon. Thank you so much.